Okay, I'm going to start with a quote from page 49 of Shift. If you don't have this book, get a copy of this book. Super important. You need to be reading this right now. This is the market that we are in. This is the market that we are going into. This is the market that most experts would predict we're going to be in for at least the next couple of years. And how you do real estate in a shift is different than how you did real estate the last couple of years. So pay really close attention. All right, from page 49 of Shift, just because the market has moved from more to less doesn't mean that you have to. As leads become fewer, you must recognize the situation and make a more concerted effort to generate them. In other words, what you've done in the past will not work going forward. In order to get to better, you have to get to different. And what are you going to do different that you haven't been doing over the last couple of years? What's the one thing that you can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easy or unnecessary? What's the one thing that you can do that is going to move you closer to your goals in 2023? You must be more rigorous and resolute in your lead generation than ever before, and more so than anyone else. In other words, this is a competition. You are competing for leads. You are competing for buyers and sellers. You are competing for closed transactions. If you looked at how many homes were sold in 2021, approximately 6.2 million homes were sold in the United States. 2022, we're tracking about 4.9 million homes sold. That's a decrease, right? And most experts are predicting between 3.6 million and 3.8 million homes sold in 2023. So there's fewer properties being sold, which means there's fewer leaders. You've got to change the way you look at things. You need to have a paradigm shift. You need to go from thinking I'm going to get my fair share to thinking I'm going to get my unfair share. This is a competition. In order to be successful, you have to win the competition. Stop thinking fair share and start thinking unfair share. Shifts create urgency. You need to be urgent in your lead generation. You need to be urgent every morning when you wake up. You're on a mission. Your one thing is lead generation. Until lead generation is done, nothing else matters. Everything else is a distraction. Now, how do you define lead generation? Because I coach real estate agents for a living, and I hear I'm going to lead generate 2 hours a day. Well, that's great. And what does that look like? Unless you know what that looks like, then you can't reach your goal. You can't reach the goal if you can't see your goal. And you can't reach your goal if you don't have a goal. If you took Michael Jordan, you put him on the free throw line and you said, okay, start shooting baskets. He's making 10 out of 10. I guarantee you, the guy's the greatest basketball player that ever played the game. Now put a blindfold on him, spin him around a dozen times, and then put the basketball in his hand and say, okay, now go. How many shots is he going to hit? And you're going to say, well, John, that's a ridiculous question, because how can you hit a goal? The basket, the hoop, the net, the backboard is the goal. How can you hit a goal that you can't see? And a better question would be, how can you hit a goal that you don't have? So lead generation in and of itself is not good enough. You have to define lead generation. Now, lead generation for me is I'm going to talk to at least 20 people, and I'm going to schedule at least one appointment every day, whichever comes last. That's lead generation. Now, I can tell at the end of the day, did I hit my goal or didn't I? And if I hit 20 conversations and I schedule an appointment or 2 appointments or 3 appointments, then I succeeded. And if I didn't hit that number, I didn't succeed. Super simple. Be urgent. All right. The competition for leads becomes fierce, and your only choice is to get your unfair share of them. This means you not only have to find leads before others, but also convert them to appointments before they get away to others. So when that seller says, I'm going to take a break, you're talking to an expired listing, for an example, and they say, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to put my home back on the market in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Most real estate agents would say, okay, I'll call you back in 3 months. Now they call back in 3 months and the property's already listed. Maybe it's already sold. You have to be more urgent and you have to be better at converting that conversation, that lead, to an appointment. And there's simple responses to this. Master your scripts. Write that down. You want to be more successful? Master the conversations of real estate. The rule is 10,000 hours to mastery. And I've calculated over the last 20 years, I have about 17,300 hours in this. I've invested about 17,300 hours in mastering the conversations of real estate. I've written 2 books on it. They're both on Amazon. One is Scripts for Success in Real Estate. The other one is Rainmaker, which is a blueprint for success in real estate lead generation. And if you came to me and you said, John, what's the one thing that I can do in order to be more successful selling real estate? I would say master your scripts. Master the conversations of real estate, master your responses to the objections you're going to hear. So when that seller says, I'm going to take a break, I'm going to put my home back on the market in 3 months, I'm simply going to ask, I understand, and you are asking $600,000 for your home. Just out of curiosity, if a buyer showed up at your front door with $600,000 cash in the next 30 days, and you knew it was going to close in 30 days, what would you do? Now, if they say, I would sell my home, which most of them are going to say that, by the way, then my next response to that is going to be, if your home is not for sale, if the buyers don't know that you want to sell your home, what's the likelihood that a buyer is going to show up at your front door with $600,000? Not very good. So what I'm hearing you say is you're really just frustrated with the process. And if I could show you a way that I could sell your home for more money in less time, and you knew that I was going to do that, would you want to meet with me? And I'm going to get the appointment. Matter of fact, I've done this many, many times. So other real estate agents are saying, okay, I'll call you back in 3 months. And I'm not, because I realize I've got one chance with you on the phone, John, one chance to get an appointment scheduled with you, because my mindset is, if I tell you I'm going to call you back, I'm getting voicemail. I'm going to get voicemail the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the 20th time. I've got one chance to schedule an appointment with you. My one and only goal is to schedule an appointment. Now, what does that mean? That means that I want to meet with you no matter what. In other words, if that seller says, I'm not going to list my home with you, John, I've got another real estate agent, so I'm going to wait. And when I relist, I'm going to hire blank. My response is, I understand. And in the meantime, if I had a full price offer on your home, would you want me to bring you the offer? Now, don't let them get away with anything else other than yes or no. So if you're hearing them excuse away the conversation, bring them back to the question. In other words, Alana, yes or no? If I had an offer, full price, would you want me to bring you the offer? Now, most of the time you're going to hear yes. Your response to that is, that's exactly why we should get together. All I need is 10 or 15 minutes to pop by. It's a short appointment. One of the reasons you're hearing no is because they think you want to move in. Let them know it's going to be a short appointment. All I need is 10 or 15 minutes to pop by so I can take a look at your home, ask some questions, take some notes, so I could potentially bring you that offer and help you sell your home. So far, I'm just in shift. There's going to be other books involved in this conversation, but I'm in shift right now. My books, Rainmaker and Scripts for Success in Real Estate, they're both on Amazon. All right. This means you not only have to find leads before others, but also convert them to appointments before they get away to others. All right. The better you become at converting leads into appointments, the faster you will be able to move and the more opportunities you'll have. It's critically important that you master this. All right, the next thing I want to talk to you about is capture. You're in the sales business, and that means you only get paid when somebody buys or sells. What does capture mean? Well, first of all, let's define a lead. A lead means you have a name, a phone number, an email address, and a mailing address. So if I'm at an open house and you come into my open house, my goal is to get a lead. The conversation is going to include, hey, John, if I wanted to give you a call, what's the best number to reach you at? I'd love to send you a market update on this neighborhood so you can see what's selling and what's currently for sale. And if you tell me a little bit about what you're looking for, I'll be glad to send you a list of properties that fit your criteria. What's a great email address for that? By the way, is your home for sale? Boy, write that down. You need to be asking that question at every single open house. You think that you're doing open houses in order to find a buyer. You think that you're doing open houses in order to find a buyer to sell that house. And even though both of those things are true, you're doing open houses to get listings. 60% of the people who visit your open house are going to put their home on the market. 60% of homeowners who list their home for sale would tell you they went to open houses before they did. So when somebody comes in the door, ask them, is your home for sale? And when you hear no, I'd love to do a market analysis for you and give you an idea of what your home would sell for in today's market. What's the best email address to send that to? Oh, by the way, what's your mailing address so I can look up your property and do that market analysis? Now I've got your name, your phone number, your email address, and your mailing address. That's a lead. Everything else is not a lead. So you've got to capture in order to create a lead. A lead is only a lead if you have captured a person's contact information. Okay, so you mail 200 golden letters to a neighborhood. Someone calls you and says, I got your letter, I'd like more information. Is that a lead? No, it's not. Somebody emails you, is that a lead? No, it's not. You've got to get their name, their address, their email address, and their phone number in order for that to become a lead. The next step is to connect. The fundamental theme of connecting is curiosity. In other words, ask questions. Don't sell and tell. Ask questions. To know who someone is, to understand their wants and needs, and to become aware of their worries and concerns. You're investigating, you're not selling. And I'm just talking to the faces that I see on my camera here, everybody. So if I'm having a conversation with Joe, one of the questions would be, Joe, how long have you lived here? Are you from wherever you're at in that blank? Are you from blank, or where are you from originally? Where did you live before you moved here? And if I'm talking to somebody who's living in Coral Springs, that's where I live, and I ask them, what made you move to Coral Springs? And if your home were to sell, where are you moving to? What's important to you about moving to blank? And when would you like to be there by? I'm connecting. Now, every single answer I get is an opportunity to go deep. In other words, I'm moving to Atlanta. Okay, what's in Atlanta? My family is. Really? Tell me more. Easy question. Well, my parents live there, and I want my kids to be close to their grandparents. That's awesome. What would that do for you? How soon do you want to be there? Why is that important to you? I'm connecting. All right. Now, you are investigating, you're not selling. Be Columbo. Columbo, anybody over 40 years old, you're going to have to YouTube it. Columbo is a TV investigator who asked lots of questions. And one of my favorite things about Columbo is, hey, one more thing before I leave. He always did that. I do that when I'm on an appointment with a for sale by owner, or I'm on an appointment with an expired listing. Let's go back to that for sale by owner. Hey, before I leave, just out of curiosity, what does a great buyer look like to you? What do you think you're going to hear? 99% of the time, you're going to hear somebody who can afford my house, somebody who will pay what I'm asking. My response to that is, I agree. And can I share what a great buyer looks like to me? You're going to hear yes. A great buyer is somebody who sold their home yesterday and they need to buy a home in the next 30 days. Moseline still watches Columbo. I love that. A great buyer is somebody who sold their home yesterday and they need to buy a home in the next 30 days or they're going to be homeless. A great buyer is somebody who is in town for the weekend and they're going to buy a home. Now, just out of curiosity, John, Alana, Kim, Joe, Eric, if you're that buyer, are you driving around looking at properties being sold by owner, or are you working with a professional like me? You're going to hear, well, I'm working with a realtor if I'm that buyer. Yeah, I agree. Now, if you were the real estate agent working with that buyer, are you driving around showing them for sale by owners, or are you showing them homes that are listed by a professional like me? And again, more than likely, you're going to hear, well, I'm showing them homes that are listed by a realtor. Yeah, I agree. Now, if you're not attracting one of those two buyers that we just talked about, we identified as a great buyer, who are you attracting? Another great question on the way out the door. Hey, by the way, have you ever had a garage sale? Most people have. Have you ever been to a garage sale? Most people have. Let's say that you're buying a watch. It's this watch, and you have a budget of $300, and you go to your favorite store. It's being sold retail. It's being sold by a professional. And you find that watch, it's $300. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to buy the watch. Of course you are. Now, the next day, it's still brand new. It's in the box. You can't return it. And you don't like it. And you decide you're going to sell it at a garage sale. Are you getting $300 for that watch? Of course not. Why not? What type of buyers is a garage sale attracting? People who are looking for a deal. Yeah, I agree. And when you went to the department store, you bought the watch from a... When I pause, I want them to finish the sentence for me, okay? And if they don't, I will. You bought the watch from a professional. At the garage sale, who's the watch being sold by? The owner. Your script response to that is, That's it. Is a script. Okay, moving on. Closing. An appointment is the real outcome you seek, and it requires real scripts to get you there. The word close means end in mind and that you're bringing something to the conclusion. So write this down. The close is nothing more than a natural conclusion to an effective conversation. The close is nothing more than the natural conclusion to an effective conversation. The close for me to get the listing appointment is simple. If I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I can do that? Now, I don't want to list my house. I understand. And I'm not asking you to hire me. I'm asking you if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time. Would you be interested? Are you at least curious to see how I'm doing that? Now, use your resume. And if you're newer to real estate and you don't have the resume, use the resume of your team or your office. I would say when I was selling real estate for the Dietz team, would you be interested in seeing how I'm selling more than 10 homes every single month, how I'm selling my listings in less than 30 days on the market, and I'm getting an average of 99% of the asking price? Are you curious to see how I would do that? All right, any goal you want to hit. This comes from the 12-week year. I'm going to teach you in the last 5 minutes how to achieve any goal you want. You could put it in the chat and I'll show you how to achieve it. Any goal you want. You're focusing on the goal. I know you are, because I used to be the same way. and you're focusing on the wrong thing. You need to focus on the activities that get you to the goal. In the 12-week year, the author talks about lead measures and lag measures. Lag measure is the goal. In other words, I want to earn $100,000. Okay, cool. That's the goal. I want to sell 24 homes. Got it. That's the goal. I want to list 36 homes. Got it. That's the goal. Now, it could be even a shorter term goal. In other words, I want to schedule one listing appointment today. Got it. Understood. And that's the goal. That's the lag measure. The lead measure is the activity that gets you to your goal. If I wanted to lose 20 pounds, I could focus on losing 20 pounds every day. I can get on the scale at the end of the day and say, I haven't lost any weight. I haven't lost any weight. I haven't lost any weight. I give up. Or I could say, I'm going to walk 3 miles every day. And I'm going to walk 3 miles every day for the next year. I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to walk 3 miles. Check, success. Next day, I'm going to get up and walk 3 miles. Check, success. Next day, I'm going to get up and walk 3 miles. Check, success. And over time, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. It's a guarantee. If you're looking at that from a real estate perspective, I'm going to talk to 20 people. I'm going to schedule one appointment every day. Now, do you control whether or not you hit your goals? Say no, you don't. However, you do control the lead measures. You do control the activities. So when you focus on the activities, and the activities is, I'm going to talk to 20 people. I'm going to have 20 real estate conversations in order to build my database, in order to build relationships, in order to create emotional proximity. So when they think of real estate, they think of me, in order to get referrals, in order to add value, in order to ultimately achieve my goal. That at the end of the day, do you choose whether or not you had 20 conversations? Say yes, you do. So here's the bottom line. Success is a choice. And if success is a choice, why are you choosing to fail? You either choose success or you choose failure. And you choose failure when you don't know what the activities are that you need to do in order to hit your goals. Hire a coach. When you don't know what the activities are that you need to do in order to hit your goals, or you settle for less. In other words, the lead measure is 20 conversations a day. And I stop at 17 because it's close enough. Or I tell myself I'll make it up tomorrow. No, you won't. I didn't have the 18th conversation, which could have been $1 million listing that I didn't get simply because I didn't have the conversation. I didn't knock on the 20th door. I stopped at 18 because it's close enough. And anyways, it's hot and I'm sweating and it's starting to rain. So I'm going to stop. I chose not to hit the goal. The goal is 20 conversations. The goal is to knock on 20 doors. I settled for less. And because I settled for less, I chose to fail. All right, talk to me. Raise your digital hand. Questions, comments, ahas.